In this video, we are going to be talking about the latest NFT news as well as what's going on in the crypto markets. For the most part, in general, the markets are pretty much moving sideways as they have been for quite some time. Kind of can see that things have been in that 1.2, 1.3 kind of range. So there's really no catalyst to like pump things up at the moment. People are still pretty fearful in crypto in general. I would say more people are leaving the space than coming in, and even the S&P 500 and what's going on in the world. There is a lot of fear, but at the same time is an opportunity to dollar cost average in, meaning buy a little bit at a time. That's possibly true. You got to really mind your risk and reward ratios. I personally think that it could potentially go lower, but hey, everybody has their own opinions, everyone has their own thesis, so definitely do your own research. Now let's go ahead and get into the NFT news. The first thing we're going to talk about is some drama that's going on with Magic Eden. And if you didn't know, Magic Eden is one of the largest places where people are buying and selling Solana NFTs, and they also are able to do ETH NFTs as well. Over the weekend, there has been big news where they were going to make creator fees optional, meaning that if you buy and sell an NFT on Magic Eden, you would be able to do that with zero royalties, right? And a lot of you guys already know projects need royalties to survive. Not all projects, but a lot of projects don't have any other source of revenue besides these royalties, right? Magic Eden is going to do the 0% creator fee mainly because they're losing traction, meaning there are these other marketplaces are offering 0% as well. They want to remain competitive and not die, so they have to do the same thing, right? They also reduce their platform fee to 0 as well, so meaning they are losing out on a lot of revenue. From my understanding, is everything's going to be trading for free for a little bit until they figure out how they can generate revenue outside of royalty fees, right? So this is very new. Nobody really has the answer to what's going on. On that weekend, I did listen to an interview with the CEO of Limit Break and Digi Daigaku and Frank DeGods. What was interesting is that they were saying that for the larger gaming companies, they actually don't really care what's going on these marketplaces like OpenSea, Magic Eden, and so on and so forth, because they will most likely build their own marketplaces, right? If you think about a game, things are going to do like hundreds of millions and even billions in volume. Why would they even want to use OpenSea when they could just build their own, right? Why would they use Magic Eden when they could just build their own? So for example, Konami is one of the big players who is looking to get into the Web3 space. They are building their own NFT marketplace and they're hiring Web3 developers, because why would you give a percentage when you can collect that yourself and you have the technical ability and talent and brand to build your own marketplace and just totally completely ignore these other third-party platforms? Bandai, Namco, Sega, they're also eyeing blockchain as well. And my guess, and although it's just a guess and speculation, the NFT space is going to change a lot from what we have known in the past year. Whereas, in the past year was more about flexing, trading, speculative value, Ponzi schemes, and then things go to zero and some things survive. I think that's going to slowly die out, where NFTs are going to move towards gaming. If you think about many of the major projects coming out, they are probably going to build a game. If you think about like Bored Ape, right? You can argue that Bored Ape created a lot of value in their NFTs and more people kept buying because they felt like it was going to keep going up. And then in the end, to make it all worth it, they had to build a game to make all these assets valuable in some sense, right? You can see like Artifact, for example, although they never announced the game, you have all these digital assets. You probably can suspect that they will probably make some kind of metaverse or game in the future. And then especially for any IP brands, Doodles or Azuki, probably they will one day make a game in the future as well. So a lot of these projects got to be pushed into gaming because that's where the money is going to flow when it comes to buying digital assets. Because of the stigma of NFTs, I feel like that word and that term will probably die in the future because there's a lot of negative stigma to it when it comes to like the regular world looking at NFTs. The rebrand that is happening is just calling an NFT a digital asset. So we already see Reddit doing that when they're selling their NFTs. We see Vivi, who did like 100 mil in revenue selling digital collectibles without any expectation of return on investment, sell it as digital collectibles, but it's built on top of Immutable X. I feel like there's a rebranding definitely going on, especially for brands who are doing IP plays as well as gaming. Now, speaking of IP plays, we want to cover some news when it comes to Azuki. They recently just launched something new on their website, and that is going to be the Azuki's collector profile. If you watch the video, you kind of can see that if you have an Azuki, you basically connect your wallet to this thing and your multiple wallets that also have an Azuki, to put it all in one place where you'll be able to show off all your Azuki, all your beans, all your whatever assets that you have. And also they have these badges, right? So these badges are essentially like if you have certain traits or you do certain things, you're involved in certain events, you are going to get a badge. So it's kind of like participating in a community and then being rewarded with a digital asset. Now that asset, which is a badge, probably can't be sold. It's just connected to your account, just like a game, right? So you might be wondering, what is the value of this badge if I can't sell it? What is the value of, let's let's say being ranked in Diamond in League of Legends, for example, right? It's just status saying that I am better than you because I'm better than you at the game and I'm ranked higher, right? The more money you have, the more you can buy, the more you can show, like flexing on people essentially, right? I'm not saying it's good or bad, I'm just saying like that's what it is, and people have a need to create social hierarchies in general anyways. When I first looked at this, I was like, well, what's so special about it? Because all it is like a profile, right? But if you think about it, it's really the foundation for something potentially bigger. If you think about, let's say, what if Azuki becomes this platform where people can sell digital collectibles, artists can come in and also sell them, and you can collect it here and show people what you have collected. That is a potential game changer, right? It's so simple. Like a Facebook, for example, is built up of profiles and then a feed, and that's pretty much it, right? Having a profile and being on it and checking every day is already half of the game. And then if you can build things on top of that, whether it's a feed, whether it's a marketplace, whether you have community participation, whether people can make money on this platform in the future in some way, some form, for example, commissions for artists, right? There's so many different routes they can take. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I can definitely tell you that if we're moving towards the whole idea that it's all about digital collectibles, not really NFTs, right? Just collecting things online, well, there has to be places where you show your collection, and Azuki.com could be a potential place if people continue to build on top of their platform, and if anime in general becomes more and more mainstream. You know, if you didn't know, anime is the second most popular genre on Netflix behind comedy, so this definitely has a lot more potential than people actually realize. They also came out with this teaser, which is essentially kind of like a marketing installation that is happening in Hong Kong on October 19th to 23rd, so getting more people, hopefully affluent people, to buy these Azukis and increase the floor price. I mean, that's just a little side thing, but pretty cool they're doing stuff in real life. Next project we're going to talk about is an upcoming project, which is Memeland. They recently just released more information on their website. Memeland is positioning themselves as a Web3 focused venture studio, meaning they are a company that releases multiple projects, not just one, right? The first collection they had was the Real MVP, which was like these trophies. Essentially, this was given out to certain people that helped Memeland in the beginning, and people could also buy them, and there was a bidding process, and it was quite expensive. So, you know, with this, you're going to get first access to pretty much everything when it comes to the NFT collections, and you can think of it like a private NFT membership club. If you look at the floor price on OpenSea, it's going to be 28 ETH. Because the floor price is so high for this first collection, the Real MVP, the potatoes are also doing pretty well, right? Which was a free mint. It's kind of like entry-level NFT to get into their ecosystem. You could grow your potato, and then every week, I believe there's going to be rewards like iPhones and more NFTs that they raffle off. And the main collection they're going to have is the one that most people are looking out for, which is the Captains, which is going to be, I believe, their PFP collection. Probably going to be expensive, right? And the MVP collection has a 28 ETH floor price, and potatoes has a pretty much a 1.4 floor price for a free mint. You know, they have justifications to say like, hey, this should be priced really high because we know how to maintain the price of our NFTs, right? So they have a DAO, which, you know, not many NFTs have made great use of having a DAO model, and they're going to have a token, but they're not really clear on what the token is going to do, and they want to keep it a mystery for now. So then they're going to have the treasure islands. Who knows what that to be? Is that going to be land? Is that going to be something? And then the last piece here is that in the works, they're creating holders.com, which they say is going to be trip advisor for your Web3 journey. So I'm not sure what things people will buy and sell on this platform, but I guess it is a platform. GMGM.com, which is OnlyFans for crypto, possibly like a Patreon for NFTs, right? I would say the play here, the narrative that will probably circulate, because there's so much mystery and they're not really telling you directly what they are doing. MVP, potatoes have high floor price, so the Captains will probably also be a high floor price. People are going to buy probably because they are going to think this team is going to deliver, execute, and create value, right? How are they going to create value? Probably they're going to say, if you have the Captains, you're going to be eligible to possibly get a treasure island, which is nobody knows, but maybe it's an NFT worth something. And then possibly it's going to be related to this token, and maybe you're going to get special rewards. And then they will probably say somehow these NFTs all connect to the software products that they are creating, and somehow with the token, that's going to be the currency for these platforms. So if you hold this NFT, then you potentially can generate tokens to use here, and that's essentially free money, right? And it's really interesting from a marketing perspective, because if you're a founder and you're a project creator, I would say this is a very interesting model because it works. It works that it gets people talking. You don't have to reveal your hand in what you're doing, and people speculate on your asset, whether or not they are actually your customers for holders.com or GMGM. Actually, it doesn't really matter because you're just trying to get as much volume into your project as possible, and then you can figure it out from there. Quite interesting, because for this type of NFT, they don't necessarily disqualify who this isn't for with price, and then from there they're just trying to capture the entire NFT market essentially and be marketable to kind of everyone, right? Because it's hype, speculative value, and things like that, and it works. It definitely does work. Yuga Labs did it with Bored Ape, CloneX did it, like Azuki did it, like everyone's doing it, right? It's just how much money can you get into your ecosystem, how much can you get the ball rolling, and then what do you actually create so that it's not a Ponzi scheme, but it's actually something that delivers value by creating these software products or metaverse game or something like that. And so that's everything we got to cover for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you want to learn more about sales and marketing in the NFT space, make sure to pick up a Parallax Genesis, because we're dropping Parallax Academies every other week, and we have live sessions where you can learn everything you need to know when it comes to NFT marketing. And I will see you in the next one.